from Colombia, and I am the co-director of Instituto Panamazónico. I would like to present my colleagues that represent different regional networks of civil society that will tell us about something, they will tell us about why we are here, and we would like to steal some minutes of your time to tell you, to share with you what we are working with this coalition of Amazonian networks of civil society that aims at reunite the regional thinking that is happening now in the Amazonian region, and how this is an answer or a response to the question that brings us together today, that is placing the Amazon at the heart of climate action. So I will begin with Julia. She's Brazilian. She works with Amazon Underworld, and she will present this coalition of regional networks of the Amazon that are the ones behind this panel. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you very much, Carolina. It's a pleasure to be here today to present this coalition that I'm part of. And I feel that this is a really rich moment because I was part of this coalition since the beginning. So if we could just pass to the other slide to present. So we are 12 networks in the Amazonian region. We came from different backgrounds, and we decided to reunite and articulate to make incidência política, ou seja, advocacy. And this is fantastic because we do have a wide range of actors and different backgrounds, and some of these NGOs and organizations and coalitions do investigation. Some of them do just research, and some of them are trying to bring expertise and regional vision, and all we together trying to make effort to dialogue with the leaders with proposals and change some perspectives to a better Amazon region. It's important to say that we had two meetings, one in Brasilia this year, and the second one in Cumbre de Presidentes in Colombia. And now we are trying to engage with all this network that we are mobilizing for proposals and rebuild Pacto Panamazônico, that it's really important to have some goals and issues that we address together and aim to continue articulating. So I will pass the voice now to explain what is the Pan-Amazonian Climate Pact. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. I will present Pablo. Give me just 1 minute. Pablo Sonon is from Bolivia, and he is member of the FOSPA, Foro Social Panamazónico, but also Alianza Mundial para la Amazonía. Thank you, Pablo. Pablo is going to take us for some changes this regional network thinks could be an answer to place the Amazon at the center of the climate agenda.
Thank you very much for the presentation. This is a very important initiative because you have here 12 of the most important networks of the Amazon coming together to do something about the Amazon. And why do we want to do something about the Amazon? Because we are approaching, or we are in the middle of the tipping point of the Amazon. What does this mean? You don't need to cut every tree in order to kill a forest. Scientists say that if you go beyond certain amount of deforestation, the forest the ecosystem of this jungle will start to collapse on its own. And we are already in that point. Last year, in my country, we had a deforestation of 1.5 million hectares of tropical forest. Brazil had a deforestation of 2.7 million hectares of tropical forest. We cannot continue like that. The impact, not only for indigenous people, for local communities, for cities even that are far away from the Amazon, are going to be very, very big, but also for the climate of the whole planet. So the whole idea is how we, in the climate negotiations, move forward and show that in reality, to address climate change, to address the climate crisis, we have to address the issue of the Amazon. Without saving the Amazon, there is no solution to climate change. We know very well that one problem, and probably the main problem, is fossil fuels. But it's not the only one. The second biggest problem is deforestation. Land use change and deforestation, to be more precise. And how do we prevent it? So this is why we 12 networks have come together. We have different backgrounds. Ones are more focused on science, some are more focused on grassroots and activism, some come more from the academy, some come more from the NGO world. My network, the Global Amazon Assembly, comes more from the grassroots movement. We are more engaged in trying to build territories and municipalities that are free of deforestation, free of fires, free of gold mining, free of violence against women. We believe that the solution is coming and will only come from the ground, and that is key. But we also all agree that we have to do some advocacy measures to change the policies of our government. To give you just an example, in my country, we have almost 10 laws that encourage people to do forest fires, not to prevent them, that encourage them. We call them in Spanish, las leyes incendiarias. So we have to come together, do a lot of pressure in order to try to change those laws, because otherwise, grassroots actions will not be enough. But also, we need to come more at a global level. That is why, if we can move to the next slide, we are promoting also a pact for the Pan-Amazonian that includes, of course, the participation, the connectivity, socio-bioeconomy, environmental conflict, and management and security, and issues of finance. We think that if you want to address the crisis in the Amazon, you have to look at it from all these different perspectives. I just come, and with this I finish, from a meeting in Indonesia, in Bali. There were all the groups that in Bali are fighting against deforestation in Indonesia. And the discussion that we had was very interesting. This is the time for a new kind of internationalism. Not only an internationalism of people, not only an internationalism of women, but an internationalism of forest, of living environments, living jungles. And we need to overcome and be more creative to address this critical moment that we're living, not only for the Amazon, but for the entire world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pablo. So we're going to be switching to Spanish. So we are testing our ability to adapt, and we had some changes in the agenda today, our panelists. So while our next panelist arrives, our keynote speaker, I'm gonna begin to present our wonderful panel that is gonna join us and invite to come and sit. So we have our Benvinda Sinea du Vale, and we have Juana, please join us. Silvana. Oh, what and my friend Pellegrino, please. Well, muchísimas gracias. Pellegrino is an expert in communication.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you so much for being with us today. I know it's a very hectic week, so it's an honor for us to have you all here. Oh yeah, I'm switching to Spanish. Okay. Voy a presentar a Sinea du Vale. Me alegra mucho verte, Sinea, nuevamente. Bienvenida. Sinea.
Introducing Sinea du Vale. Thank you so much for being here.
Sinea es lideresa indígena del territorio Guapixana, del territorio indígena Serralúa, en Roraima, Brasil. Además, Sinea coordina el Departamento de Gestión Territorial, Ambiental y de Cambio Climático del Consejo Indígena de Roraima.
So Sinea is part of the, what's the name of the people?
Guapixana.
Wapixana of Roraima, Brazil, and she is part of the Territorial Management Committee in the government of Roraima. It's an NGO. She's the director of the NGO.
Y desde el 2024 es copresidenta del Caucus Indígena de la Convención Marco de Naciones Unidas sobre Cambio Climático.
And since 2024,
24.
she is part of the United Nations Committee of the Indigenous Caucus of Climate Change for the United
Of Climate
Nations.
Change Convention, yes. Con más de una década de experiencia en espacios de incidencia climática, forma parte de consejos y comités nacionales e internacionales con participación activa en la plataforma de comunidades locales y pueblos indígenas.
She has been for more than over 10 years part of different committees and organizations that are working with climate justice solutions.
Yes, the Platform of Indigenous Peoples and Local Communities, it's an official body that works within the UN Convention of Climate Change. Y actualmente Sinea, además, es la enviada especial de pueblos indígenas para la presidencia de la COP30, la COP de la Amazonía.
And she is currently the indigenous representative for
Special
the
Envoy.
special envoy, thank you, for the COP30 conference.
Silvana Valdovino es peruana, es especialista en Derecho Ambiental y ha dedicado más de 20 años de su experiencia al diseño e implementación de estrategias y políticas públicas relacionadas con la protección de áreas naturales del Perú.
So Silvana is a lawyer who has more than 20 years experience in developing policies to protect natural parks in Peru.
Y actualmente es directora del Programa de Biodiversidad y Pueblos Indígenas de la Sociedad Peruana de Derecho Ambiental.
And she is currently the director of the Biodiversity and Indigenous People Program of the SPDA.
Juana Hoffman es abogada especialista en Derecho Urbano y Derecho Ambiental con una maestría en Ordenamiento Ambiental y un doctorado en Geografía.
¿Su nombre otra vez? Juana.
Juana.
Juana, she is an urban environmental lawyer, and she is director of.
She's the technical director of Amazon Conservation Team. Bueno, y Te voy a dar la palabra para que te presentes.
Ok. Hola, mi nombre es Peregrino Gonzalo Llano Chaita. Soy comunicador y cineasta indígena de la región Mare de Dios de la Amazonía peruana.
So I am an indigenous communicator from the region of Madre de Dios in the Peruvian Amazon.
Muchas gracias por aceptar estar con nosotros. No pude, discúlpame, hacer el research de tu perfil. Nos acabamos de conocer y Peregrino está reemplazando a otro colega que no nos pudo acompañar hoy al panel. También queremos darle las disculpas porque el profesor Carlos Nobre tampoco nos pudo acompañar hoy al panel. Y Martín von Hillebrand, el secretario general de la OTCA, está por llegar y él nos va a dar una reflexión desde el lugar que actualmente ocupa y desde su experiencia sobre esta pregunta. Entonces nos tenemos que ajustar un poco a los tiempos, pedimos disculpas, pero bueno, sabemos que hoy hay una importante discusión sobre fondos financieros para la Amazonía en Naciones Unidas.
So Peregrino here is taking the place of another indigenous communicator that was going to be with us today. And also Carlos Nobre won't be able to join us, and Martin Hildebrand, he's on his way right now because we had to change some of the programming, and forgive all of us for the changes in the programming. But there's an important event happening today within the United Nations that has to do with Amazon financing and financing for Amazon solutions.
Bueno, entonces, recogiendo también lo que nuestro colega Pablo Solón nos mencionaba, todos sabemos que en la Amazonía están pasando muchas cosas muy negativas.
So taking from what Pablo Solon was sharing with us, we all know that there's very grave things happening in the Amazon right now.
Not very great things. Sabemos que el 16% de la cobertura de los bosques está actualmente desforestada y que aproximadamente un 26% de la conectividad ecosistémica se ha perdido en la Amazonía.
So more than 16% of the Amazon has been cut down, and a big part of the Amazon is facing these challenges of deforestation.
También conocemos que la Amazonía está viviendo de primera mano los impactos del cambio climático, siendo las personas que cuidan el territorio las que más están sufriendo.
And a lot of the Amazon is suffering also from environmental disasters, and the communities that live in the Amazon are the first ones that receive the impacts of these natural disasters.
Y aunque el 47% de la Amazonía está protegida entre parques nacionales y territorios indígenas,
And even though more than 47% is protected from natural protected areas and indigenous territories,
los científicos nos advierten que la Amazonía está llegando a un punto irreversible de sabanización, conocido como el Gran Tipping Point, pero ya sabemos que en algunas áreas ya se ha cruzado ese umbral.
but scientists are warning us that we are very near of reaching the tipping point, and that has very difficult consequences. But we also know that several territories in the Amazon are already living that tipping point.
Pero entonces también la Amazonía es fuente de soluciones, de ideas, de forma de relacionarse con el mundo, que están hoy en día dando soluciones a la crisis climática.
But also the Amazon is home to ideas, to solutions, to specific ways that can bring about solutions to the climate crisis.
Aquí queremos resaltar esas cosas positivas que la Amazonía le da al mundo. Como dijo un gran amigo, ser pesimista es muy fácil.
So here we want to highlight the positive examples of things that are happening in the Amazon, because as a friend of mine has said, to be pessimist is very easy.
Optar por dejarnos llevar por este escenario de catástrofe nos paraliza. Entonces, los que estamos en los territorios, los que trabajamos de la mano en los pueblos indígenas y las comunidades locales amazónicas y las comunidades afroamazónicas, queremos seguir luchando para que la Amazonía pueda estar en el centro de la agenda climática y seguir siendo una respuesta a la estabilidad del clima planetario.
Because those people that are, or we as communities that live in the Amazon know that we have the solutions and know that we have a responsibility to go and share our solutions with the global community.
Querido panel, entonces vamos a hacer una pausa, darle la bienvenida a Martín von Hildebrand.
So, dear
Just
panel,
in
we're going to
time.
make a small pause to give a warm welcome to our panelist, Martin von Hildebrand.
Thank you.
Martín is the current General Secretary of the Amazon Treaty Cooperation Organization. And Martín, voy a switch a español para los colegas indígenas. Puedes, si quieres, hablar en inglés. Y tenemos también a un traductor. So, bienvenido, Martín. Entonces, tenemos la pregunta del panel que es la pregunta que nos convoca hoy aquí, y es poner la Amazonía en el corazón de la agenda climática. Queremos que nos compartas tu reflexión frente a esa pregunta. ¿Por qué nos hacemos esa pregunta? ¿Por qué tenemos que trabajar para que esté en el centro de la agenda climática? ¿Es que no está? ¿Y es posible que esté en el centro, en el corazón?
So the question that we are dealing today is how to put the Amazon in the heart of the climate solutions, climate action. Is it possible? Can we do it? That's the question.
This next map. Well, thank you, Carolina, and thank everybody for being here. It's a pleasure. I will talk not very long, and then I'll have to leave you because I have another appointment in the United Nations and something that I have to be there. So, when you ask me, the Amazon in the heart or in the center of climate change doesn't have a center. So you cannot be where it's a place that does not really exist, but you can imagine it. Because the center of climate change is not a place, it's an attitude. The center of climate change, at least from my point of view, is the way we think. Because we think that nature is a collection of objects. We think that we can use nature as something external. That nature is outside, we are here. Even science observes nature. Nature is something in the Western world, that we are not part of nature, nature is out there. And consequently, science and technology has ultimately developed to one way or another control nature and put nature at our service. And that is, I think, the center of the problem. And our economy and our development goes along those lines. We are trying to use nature for our benefit. And if we contrast that with the understanding of the indigenous people in the Amazon and other cultures, we are nature. We are nature, we are part of nature. Now that might seem a rather straightforward statement, and you might consider, well, everybody says that, and the indigenous people are part of nature. But what does that mean? How is it that many times we say, and we say that science says, not that science is the last word, it's just a way of measuring, it's a methodology, it is not wisdom, it is methodology. It's a method that has been developed to measure things and to calculate things ultimately. It is not the only way of understanding the world, it's not necessarily the best way, it's the best way to get certain things done. But anyway, we always have that argument many times. It's a scientific fact. Sure. But perhaps it's not a conscious fact. Perhaps it's not an emotional fact. If I talk of love, is it scientific? And yet, it is true. At least for the people that live it. So, we can't just say that because it's scientific, it is right. It is scientific, it is the result of a method that measures. Fair enough. And we go to the moon. But not necessarily do we fall in love. Not necessarily do we care for people. Not necessarily do we live in a profound way. No. The indigenous people Why can we say that they take care of nature more than we do? They take it because when they say they are nature, I'll give you for example, I have had the privilege of living 50 years back and forth with the indigenous people all my life. So, when a shaman, a wise person, a shaman, is chosen in the communities where I have lived, they choose the child that is the child, and I'm talking about men, but it can be women also, not shamans, but other specialities. This child, when he ceases to receive his mother's breast, when he's about 1 year, 1 year and a half, whenever that is, they hold the ritual and they take his spirit to the origin of the world. According to the indigenous people, this world, there have been worlds before ours, but this world where human beings live, the human beings started in the ocean. So they were born in the ocean. So you take the spirit of the child back to the ocean, where the origin of the spirits are, and you consult with them, what will this child be? How do you do it? It is through the meditation of a shaman, an elder. He'll take the spirit there and he'll consult. And there he'll find an answer. What are we talking about when we say he finds an answer? I mean, is it just a lot of hooey? Or is it because through their meditation they go deep and they can feel? They have a knowledge of methodology that they've inherited for centuries. They have a knowledge of what's going on in the community. They have a knowledge of what's happening around them, surrounding them, in nature in general. And there are some children are more sensitive than others. Like it happens to us, let's say, in music. Many of us might be able to whistle or to sing, but we're not all Beethoven, we're not all Mozart. You're born with a certain capacity, you're born with a certain gift. As people that can be artists, can be philosophers, can be mathematicians, and others are not. You need a technique, but you also have a sensibility. You have a gift. So they decide this child is going to be a shaman. Not all. Others are run the maloka, others are involved in rituals, or women are involved in working in producing food and taking care of the kids. And when the whole ritual, they are much more, they do it much better. When it's a shaman, and he will start as a diet. They will eat certain things and not others. If you don't take care of your diet, you'll never achieve to be a shaman. Because the diet puts your body clean. And the vital energy of the universe flows through your body also. And if you eat grease or if you eat salt, it blocks. And once it blocks, you become ill. And you cannot be a shaman because you have to be able to taste energy. When I'm healing somebody, I have to deal with his energy and take his energy and with my energy, clean the energy. That's what a shaman does all the time. We live in ideal order, that's nature, and as human beings, we create disorder because we're people and because we live one way or another. And so they have this idea of living with nature in a very profound way. It's in their meditation. When a shaman meditates, where is he going? What is he doing? He says, I'm speaking with the plants. I'm speaking with the animals, if he's going to say our language. Or trying to explain it to us. Because our language is not his. He's doing his best to try and make us understand what he's talking about. When he says he's talking with plants, what does he say? What is he talking with nature? It's that he's going deep. And he's going deep into what we could call, and we all talk, at least Jung talks about the subconscious. But there is a subconscious beyond the collective subconsciousness. There's a subconsciousness in nature, in plants, millions of years old. There's this energy that flows there with the plants and the animals. And they learn how to tap into that. They learn how to feel that. And from there they find their answers. But it's a lot of training. It's keeping a diet. It's not an easy thing to do. Shamans concentrate and meditate every night. And when they sit in a circle, which they call a mambiadero, when they're chewing coca, they're in a circle. There's one that meditates and tells a myth. What is the myth? The myth is the key into that subconscious. And you have different myths according to what you're looking for. And they'll take that different myth. And the others listen to the story, and they're all getting into a collective meditation. But only the shaman, or the main shaman, will be the first one to say, I felt this. But what did you feel? what did you see? And then they recommend the community to follow this step or this path and not the other path. They never give orders, they recommend. And the community decides if they want to go or they don't. They all decide that they do. Because it says it'll do you good if you go this way, it'll hurt you if you go that way, or you'll find a problem. Now these people are there. We are very fortunate to still have in the Amazon this kind of thinking. There are different ways. The first thing we have to accept, there are different ways of being a human being. There are different ways of understanding. There are different ways of going deep. There are different ways of living with nature. And we have these people that have been there for thousands of years and are highly sophisticated in that world, in getting into the understanding of nature. And we have that. And we have that in the Amazon. And that is the Amazon. And when they concentrate, a shaman will say to you, I look at a tree until I become that tree. It doesn't mean it becomes branches and a tree trunk. It means until we flow together. And they will say to me when I ask, but your knowledge is ultimately intimacy. And they answer, yes, Martin, because if you don't have intimacy, how can you transcend? No, how can you reach spirituality if you don't have intimacy? It's by becoming one that you shift into this other dimension of spirituality, what some people call enlightenment, or they're different in different cultures. But this is what they do, and we have these people. But unfortunately, we don't really respect them. We consider them primitive. They're not primitive, they're highly sophisticated. But since we come from a culture that colonizes, what we do is deny the reality of the other one. We deny the depth. You don't have an education, you don't have a civilized world, you don't understand, you don't have medicine, you're not Western, you're not rational. And all this is imposing our way of thinking and not listening to other people that have a profound way of thinking. We listen a bit more to the Buddhists now, thanks to the Beatles and people like that. When came and made it popular. But these people are there. That's why the Amazon is so important. That's one of the reasons to put the Amazon at the center. Thanks to the thinking of these people, the depth of these people. But we have to learn how to listen to them. We have to learn how to encourage them. And we're imposing our way of life and we're destroying their thinking. That's why the Amazon is so important. That's one good reason. Another reason why the Amazon, I would say, is in the center, because it's coming to a tipping point. It can collapse. If it collapses, we go 2 degrees further up. We lose the flying rivers which bring water to the whole continent. And once the Amazon collapses, all the other tipping points in the Antarctica, in Greenland, in Sahel, in the currents of the Atlantic, they'll all collapse too. It'll be a disaster. And we're talking about a tipping point. We talk a lot about stop deforestation. We must. But it's not just deforestation. It's climate change. It's the heat. It's the emissions of CO2. What happens when we're talking about tipping point? It's not when we go to 25%, the whole thing falls like a domino. No. We have savanization. And if we look at the savanna, and we look at the forest, you will see that the forest normally has 25 degrees, 24, 5 degrees. It's stable. In the shade, because it creates humidity, that creates the flying rivers. Because it creates clouds, and you get a reflection, what we call albedo. It keeps the temperature down. So it's a certain temperature of forest. It has a certain amount of rain, which we might have 2,500 millimeters per year as a general average. It has 2 months a year of what we might call, in Spanish we call it verano, summer, that is of dry season. It's not dry, but of less rain. What we call verano, we call it summer. If you go to the savanna has 31, 32 degrees. It's much hotter. It has much less rain, 1,500 millimeters. It has long dry periods of 4 months. That's all we have to look at. If we see that it's getting drier, if we see that less rain, if the temperature going up, we're going towards the savanna. That's the tipping point. And that is caused by what? By deforestation? Yes. Less rain has to do with less trees. Yes. But it has to do with temperature. When the Niño comes, the temperature, why the sea gets warm, what happens? We have these disasters. We have these floods. We have these long periods of dry season. What's that? It's CO2. And in the Amazon, we emit 1.5 percent of the CO2. The rest comes from the developing countries. That's where the CO2 comes from. So unless the developing countries reduce their emissions, no matter what we do in the Amazon, we'll lose the Amazon. So it's a global problem. We all have responsibilities. We cannot say, you come to 25% and you collapse, so it's your problem down there cutting down trees. It is our problem. But the problem also is generated somewhere else in the developing countries. So if we don't get into an articulation, if we don't work together to keep down this temperature, to stop deforestation, the forest will collapse. So there, just to bring in a few ideas into discussion, it has to do with the collapse and civilization, but it has to do with the knowledge. We have an attitude. We are understanding nature. So I'm finishing just to say that this indigenous knowledge is fundamental because there are different ways of being a human being, and they have a profound way of living with nature. And we have to become conscious that if we want to go back to nature, they can inspire us, and we must go back to nature the way we're living. So in that sense, I agree with Carolina, the Amazon can be the heart of the crisis. Thank you.
Gracias, Martín, por tu reflexión y por compartirnos tus sentimientos más profundos. Creo que esto lo llevas en el corazón.
Thank you, Martin, for sharing these profound thoughts. I think you really bring and sharing from the heart.
Esta pregunta sobre todo, esta respuesta que nos da sobre todo tú que has tenido la experiencia de trabajar con los gobiernos nacionales, ahora con los gobiernos regionales, y por tu experiencia con el trabajo en los pueblos indígenas, seguir pensando que no se trata de poner las políticas o un bioma en un lugar, en un centro o en una periferia, sino en una actitud de volver a retomar este parentesco con la vida que es diferente a nosotros, es creo que un ejemplo a seguir. No se trata de un lugar, es una forma de volver a relacionarnos con el mundo en una situación mucho más recíproca.
With all of your experience working with government level, with regional level, and what you're sharing has to do with having an attitude and changing the attitude in which we connect with the territory.
Voy a seguir con Cineya.
I'm sorry I have to go. Thank you for listening, but I just have to run.
Una disculpa que
Thank you.
me tengo que
Thank you.
retirar, pero muchas gracias.
Thank you,
Gracias.
muchas gracias y siento mucho. I'm sorry, qué pena, en lo que soy, qué pena contigo.
Cineya, yo sé que también tienes que irte para Naciones Unidas, así que voy a invitarte que nos compartas también tu reflexión sobre esta pregunta, ¿no? ¿Qué significa poner a la Amazonía en el centro de una agenda política, climática? Tú que has vivido los efectos del cambio climático como indígena guapichana, que has luchado por la participación indígena en los espacios de toma de decisión global, como la plataforma de la Convención de Cambio Climático, la plataforma de pueblos indígenas.
I know that you also have to go, so thank you for being here. And please, as a Wapichana leader, how do you, and with your experience in the climate space, how do you put the Amazon in the heart of climate action?
Y ahora que eres enviado especial de los pueblos indígenas en la COP, quiero preguntarte, que has vivido todas las experiencias desde el territorio hasta la política y ahora en una convención global, para ti, ¿qué significa poner la Amazonía en un lugar, en el centro de la agenda climática?
And as a special repertoire now at the COP30 for Indigenous people, how do you place the Amazon at the heart of climate action?
Muito obrigada pelo convite. É muito importante trazer a voz dos povos indígenas nesses espaços.
Thank you so much for this invitation and for allowing the space for the voice of indigenous people.
Eu digo que colocar a Amazônia no centro, né, dessas discussões, principalmente onde envolve nós, os povos indígenas, é trazer toda essa sabedoria que nós temos de fazer a manutenção das florestas e de todo o ecossistema.
So I think placing the Amazon at the heart of climate action means bringing the experience of indigenous people in all of our activities that have to do with the preservation of the rainforest.
E falar da Amazônia, da bacia amazônica, que envolve vários países, é falar de uma sabedoria coletiva para proteger esses biomas, não só para os povos indígenas, mas para todos os nós que estamos no planeta.
And this international region, which is the Amazon, for us it's protecting these biomes, not only for indigenous people, but for all the world.
O que nos leva a estar nesses espaços, sair das nossas comunidades, das nossas organizações indígenas e estar nesses espaços de diálogos?
And what is that? That's what brings us to these international and global spaces, to leave our communities and to be able to share our experiences as indigenous peoples.
Por exemplo, eu estou aqui agora enquanto co-presidente da América Latina no Caucus Indígena, que é o grande fórum de mudança climática para povos indígenas.
And so there's this forum of climate solutions, climate change for indigenous people.
Eu sou a voz de todos os povos indígenas no Brasil para esse tema e para essa discussão.
And I am the representative of indigenous people for that specific forum.
Mas o que nos traz neste lugar é todo o trabalho que a gente faz do chão da comunidade.
But what really brings us here is the grassroots work that we are doing in the communities.
E a gente vê o que nós, os povos indígenas, estamos sendo impactados diretamente com essa questão adversa das mudanças climáticas.
Because us as indigenous people, we are facing this specific impact of climate disaster.
Então nós começamos a trabalhar na Amazônia e estamos dando escala nos estudos que nós chamamos de planos de enfrentamento às mudanças climáticas.
So we are developing what we call the plans of the survival or the threats of indigenous climate disaster.
Mas para conversar para fora, com todo esse diálogo e essa discussão que nós temos ao redor do mundo sobre a questão de clima, nós chamamos de planos de adaptação indígena.
So outside, what we are calling it is this indigenous adaptation plans.
E aí, isso que nos impulsiona a estar nesses espaços para levar os nossos mecanismos construídos por nós, os povos indígenas.
And that's what is inspiring us to be in these global spaces, is to share these solutions that we have created together as indigenous communities.
E é muito importante dizer que isso é legítimo como coletividade para estar tanto, por exemplo, na Semana de Clima de Nova York, para estar na Conferência de Bonn, para estar na COP30.
And that's what gives us the inspiration and the energy and to come all the way here to New York, to be in Bonn, to be at the COP30 in Brazil.
Porque nós, os povos indígenas do mundo, nós somos parte da solução, mas nós precisamos ter os nossos direitos garantidos e o nosso território garantido para continuar fazendo todo o trabalho que fazemos milenarmente.
Because we as indigenous people, we have the solutions, but we need the territorial rights recognition in order to be able to move forward.
Então, é desafiador nós, os povos indígenas, falarmos de adaptação, mitigação, financiamento, se a gente não tiver estratégia clara voltada aos povos indígenas de fato, que a gente possa ver algo palpável que chegue às nossas comunidades.
Because if we're talking about adaptations, if we're talking about solutions, we need to see how our rights are being protected and guaranteed in our communities.
Por isso que é importante que nós estejamos nesses lugares de fala, não só de participação, mas em espaços de decisões.
That's why it's important for us to have not only places to speak, but actually to be decision makers in these spaces.
E nós temos trabalhado os nossos mecanismos para que a gente possa ter uma resposta rápida. Nós vivemos hoje numa crise climática para os povos indígenas, principalmente na questão da água e principalmente no estoque de alimento.
and we need rapid response solutions to the crisis, specifically food solutions and water solutions. We have water crisis and food crisis happening right now.
Com certeza vocês viram no Brasil que o Rio Grande do Sul teve um impacto muito grande do que aconteceu de alagação, que atingiu terras indígenas. Isso foi notícia no mundo.
You may all have seen the news of flooding in Rio Grande do Sul. That was really big flooding that happened last year in these indigenous territories.
E isso foi um impacto que foi muito rápido e grande, então isso deu escala para o mundo. Mas a Amazônia, ela vive um colapso, que nós sabemos que os últimos 3 anos de altas temperaturas, tem muitas comunidades que até hoje não se refizeram as suas roças, tem doenças que até agora eles não conseguiram conter, e nós precisamos urgentemente ter uma resposta rápida para tudo isso que vem acontecendo numa escala da Bacia Amazônica.
These floods have damaged communities permanently. There's many communities that have not recovered from the flooding, and that they have various diseases that have been caused and problems, health issues that have been caused through the flooding and are still affecting their communities. So we need rapid response.
Por isso que é muito importante nós dizer que a segunda COP na América Latina, que vai ser na Amazônia, que vai ser em Belém, isso vai congregar povos indígenas do mundo, mas vai ser um número expressivo de povos indígenas que vão estar concentrados aí, que talvez nunca esteve numa convenção do clima como essa.
So this is the second COP in Latin America, and we will have a very significant amount of indigenous communities being represented there, probably as never before.
E que seja realmente, nós estamos trabalhando para isso, que seja uma COP onde nós possamos ver resultados positivos, por exemplo, como entrar como demarcação das terras indígenas, como política de clima nas NDCs do Brasil, por exemplo.
Yeah, and we hope that really this COP has significant outcomes to protect indigenous territories and climate solutions that really are impactful and real.
E nós vemos, por exemplo, que recursos de financiamento para adaptação, recursos para perdas e danos possam chegar de fato nas nossas comunidades.
And we need to, one of the outcomes that we need is real financing for rebuilding communities from climate disasters and adaptation solutions.
E que os países possam cumprir os seus acordos para que realmente o clima não passe mais de 1,5 graus, porque essas temperaturas elas já se elevaram. E quando isso acontece lá na floresta, nós não temos um botão para desligar o ar-condicionado ou ligar a temperatura, morre planta, morre gente, morre árvores, e isso é muito importante dizer que será o ponto de não retorno que nós já estamos vivendo, não só para a Amazônia, mas para o mundo. E eu quero muito deixar essa mensagem, que todos nós possamos ter junto, fazermos esse mutirão, para que realmente a gente possa fazer acontecer e implementar políticas públicas para que realmente não consiga, nos estados, ter toda essa parte de mudança climática aumentada a cada dia.
So it's very important that we stop the degrees to increase from the 1.5 degrees, and because this could cause the point of no return, and it's already killing biodiversity in our communities. We don't have a button to turn air conditioning on. We are suffering the consequences. This is a reality. We are already living that tipping point in our communities.
E muito obrigada, e desculpa por ter que sair correndo, porque nós, os povos indígenas, temos que ver o que está acontecendo agora. Por exemplo, vamos falar sobre o TFFF. Quanto disso vai chegar para os povos indígenas? Qual vai ser a metodologia que nós vamos poder acessar? Então, nós estamos cada dia nos apropriando dessas informações para fazer o caminho de volta para a comunidade.
So I'm sorry that we have to leave, but we have a very tight agenda, and we are here in New York working this week, today, in meetings that will make sure that the voices of indigenous people and our climate adaptation needs are being met.
Muito obrigada. Kaimé Pukudona.
Thank you so much.
Muito obrigada, Neil.
Thank you so much, Sine.
Bueno, nos quedamos nosotros tres. Peregrino bendito entre las mujeres ahora.
So Pellegrino is blessed with all these wonderful ladies.
We are blessed. We are blessed. Bueno, retomemos. Estábamos hablando de todos estos datos que nos abruman negativos de la Amazonía y yo quiero enfocarnos en lo positivo, en lo que se está haciendo en los territorios y en los aportes que la sociedad civil también ha hecho de la mano de los pueblos indígenas y las comunidades locales para seguir teniendo una Amazonía resiliente y protegida, ¿no?
So we want to continue exploring these ideas and examples in which civil society and everybody here in the world can support indigenous communities in protecting their territories.
Peregrino, voy a empezar contigo. Peregrino es comunicador indígena, entonces tiene una labor fundamental para que lo que se está haciendo en el territorio, no solamente las amenazas que están enfrentando los pueblos indígenas y también los pueblos indígenas en aislamiento y contacto inicial, sino también las cosas que hacen los pueblos indígenas que han tenido impacto, lleguen a otros espacios, lleguen al público en general, lleguen a los gobiernos.
So a Peregrino is an indigenous communicator, and as such, he has a very important role in sharing with the outside world the experience, the solutions that the communities have and live day to day.
¿Nos quieres compartir alguna experiencia, algún trabajo de comunicación de tu pueblo que haya salido al territorio, que haya comunicado a los demás alguna experiencia importante del pueblo Shanok?
Maybe you can share, Peregrino, a specific experience of something that you have created as a media producer to share with the world your work, your experience, your struggle.
Y desde un principio los pueblos indígenas existen y aún existen los piasis, las gentes no contactadas en el Perú, en la región de Madre de Dios.
So he is saying that in his region, they still have uncontacted communities.
Y a pesar de que haya imágenes, videos, el gobierno no ve el lado positivo para su protección.
And even though have been images and videos, government is not doing enough for the protection.
Y es por ello que surge esta iniciativa de comunicadores indígenas y ahora cineastas indígenas.
And that is one of the reasons that this initiative of indigenous media creators and filmmakers has come about.
Esta es la oportunidad que las voces de los mismos personas indígenas sean sus palabras que lleguen al rincón del mundo para que puedan ser escuchados a través de comunicación audiovisual. Tenemos que hacer cines, películas, para que realmente ellos puedan ver lo que existe en el bosque.
We think that media film is a way that we can share our culture and our experience with the outside world.
No hay otra manera de proteger al bosque que es dando a conocer la existencia de los pueblos indígenas a través de comunicación audiovisual, haciendo películas de cine, ya que existen bastantes películas que se crean en el mundo, películas de ficciones, pero ahora queremos nosotros como pueblos indígenas dar a conocer a los indígenas.
So there's a lot of films that are made about us, but we believe that we need to be the ones that are sharing our story and our culture using these tools of film and media creation.
Tuve la oportunidad de viajar a Austria en el evento más importante de mi vida y de los pueblos indígenas. En Austria, el evento de Jackson Wild en el año 2023.
So in 2023, I had the opportunity of going to a very important event for us and for indigenous people, which was the Jackson event in Austria.
donde generó un impacto dentro de ese ambiente de seguir fortaleciendo y apoyando a los cineastas indígenas que crean historias.
Which was very important for us because we were able to make a lot of impact and share our story with a lot of people of how is indigenous filmmaking and indigenous culture.
Entonces esto trae una alianza humanitaria para los demás pueblos a que sigan este ejemplo de crear y hacer cines.
And it was very important because we were able to gain that visibility and recognition and inspire other indigenous communities to work and use film as a way to share their culture.
Y entonces estos comunicadores o cineastas indígenas del mundo existimos bastante.
And also know that indigenous communicators and filmmakers exist in different parts of the world.
De alguna otra manera, estos indígenas, comunicadores indígenas, necesitan el apoyo de todos, necesitan adaptarse a las tecnologías que existen en el mundo. Entonces, nosotros como comunicadores cineastas indígenas estamos conociendo poco a poco estas tecnologías, usando con conocimiento y sabiduría gracias al apoyo de los aliados.
And thanks to many of our allies, we have been able to gain the tools and the knowledge and to use all of these media creation tools and expand the usage of these tools to be able to share our stories.
Esta es una experiencia maravillosa de contar historias de pueblos indígenas a través de cines.
And that was a magnificent opportunity for us to share our stories using film.
Gracias, Peregrino. Es una labor importantísima la que están haciendo. Es todo el tema del poder de la voz que cuenta las historias, ¿no? El tema de la jefatura de prensa no solamente es llevar la información de los territorios a espacios de toma de decisión o otros espacios de diálogo, sino es desde dónde se cuenta esto que está pasando.
So yeah, Peregrino, thank you so much for sharing that experience because it's not only sharing the stories of the indigenous communities, but also from what point of view these stories are being told.
Bueno, Silvana, entonces tienes mucha experiencia concreta en trabajar por la protección de los territorios de los pueblos indígenas del Perú y también de la biodiversidad peruana. Compártenos algo, una experiencia de la que te sientas muy orgullosa, positiva, que ha tenido un gran impacto en la integridad de la Amazonía, y también creo que es importante conocer cómo la sociedad civil también puede generar un apoyo para que se siga manteniendo la integridad del bioma amazónico y siga siendo este gran bioma que nos ayuda a estabilizar el clima.
So Silvana, and your experience in protecting biodiversity and supporting indigenous people in the protection of their territories, we would love for you to share maybe one experience that you are very proud of as an example of positive impact that you can make.
No, un poco difícil hablar después de Martín, de Peregrino y de Cintlea, ¿no? Creo que es un poco complejo decir algo. Yo quería encontrar un poco el hilo conductor entre lo que han dicho los tres y ver cómo lo hemos planteado desde la visión de la sociedad peruana de derecho ambiental, ¿no?
So it's very hard to talk after listening to Martin's amazing words and Peregrino's amazing words, and I think what I can try and do is find like common themes that we can find as from my place in the SPDA.
Creo que hay un tema clave que nos ha mencionado Martín, que es el tema de más que hablar de crisis climática, hablar de una actitud climática, y un poco vinculando lo que hemos estado conversando aquí, es el tema de vincular esta actitud climática con los saberes ancestrales.
And one thing I liked about what Martin said is instead of talking about climate crisis or climate solutions, talk about climate attitude and how we can connect that climate attitude to the indigenous-led solutions.
Y creo que nosotros como SPDA en lo que podemos contribuir ha sido o es, y lo que seguimos pensando que es uno de los elementos más fuertes, es ayudar a lograr la seguridad jurídica de los territorios indígenas.
And one of the things that we as SPDA that we are working for and what we can really do is to be able to ensure the legal rights of the indigenous people over their territories.
Porque consideramos que desde ahí es donde se pueden ejercer con mayor efectividad los derechos colectivos. Entonces, vincular la responsabilidad climática, la actitud climática, los saberes ancestrales y cómo como sociedad civil podemos hacer es generar condiciones para que estos derechos colectivos sean efectivos.
And so, speaking of cultural values and rights, we are here to ensure that we have the legal frameworks to ensure the conservation of the indigenous rights and territories.
Y creo que un tema no tomando vocería directamente, pero creo que un tema crítico, básico, necesario y de la agenda indígena, al menos en el caso peruano, al ser los territorios, también es ese tema de la vinculación de lo natural con lo cultural. Y si no reconocemos este vínculo y la necesidad de proteger estos territorios, creo que estamos desconociendo la importancia de nuestros pueblos para valorar lo que la sabiduría o la cultura indígena o los conocimientos ancestrales en nuestras diferentes países, regiones o realidades.
And one of the key aspects is to be able to make sure that nature conservation is linked to the biocultural and indigenous knowledge conservation, and those that two are inseparable and need to work together if we want to ensure the rights and the future of the territories.
Y creo que para cerrar con lo que mencionaba Carolina, una experiencia muy bonita para nosotros como SPDA y para varias instituciones de la sociedad civil que trabajan, por ejemplo, en la región Loreto, fue que se logró que una comunidad nativa, como es la forma como se organizan los pueblos indígenas en el Perú, lograra un título de su territorio después de 70 años. Y lo recibió el bisnieto de la persona que inició el trámite.
And one of the most amazing success stories that we can talk about is in the region of Loreto in Peru, that we were able to achieve the territorial rights after 70 years. And the one that was there to receive and celebrate this achievement was the great-grandson of the person that initiated the legal process.
Entonces, creo que para cerrar la idea, esta actitud climática debe venir vinculada a saberes ancestrales y a tener este reconocimiento de la importancia del rol de la vocería, porque creo que la mejor voz es la que sale desde el propio actor y no de quienes hablamos en representación. Y creo que seguir construyendo espacios como estos mecanismos internacionales donde los propios indígenas defiendan sus derechos es un rol que como sociedad civil debemos seguir apoyando, construir.
So is this, to close the idea, I think that attitude, this climate attitude comes together with the indigenous territorial defense in making sure that we give space to the voices of the communities in these types of spaces, and it is the communities themselves that can come and share their voice, not us as supporters and non-indigenous supporters, but it is them as players in this that have the space to share their voice in these global spaces and also as decision makers.
Gracias.
Gracias, Silvana. Es que esa conexión de la actitud climática con un tema de derechos es realmente lo que nos convoca acá, sin garantizar los derechos de los pueblos indígenas. Y por estas líneas, Juana, justicia climática amazónica, ¿no? ¿Qué es lo de la justicia climática y cómo podría verse una justicia climática amazonizada, una justicia climática que responda a las experiencias que nos están trayendo aquí los líderes indígenas, a las experiencias que también nos cuenta la sociedad civil? Una justicia climática amazónica, ¿cómo sería para ti?
So Juana, thank you. Also for you, it's how do you see a Amazon climate justice? How do you bring together the issues of climate justice from an Amazonian perspective?
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to speak in Spanish as well. I'm smarter in Spanish. But I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, to be here. I know this is like a very busy and crazy week, but just to have time to talk, it's absolutely amazing. And Martin invited us to have this sensitive conversation, to speak like for the heart, know our brain. And I really, really celebrate that, because preserving the Amazon is about feelings, and to celebrate the difference and to celebrate nature. Entonces, como les dije, soy más inteligente en español, y yo quería un poco, Carolina, agradecerte porque la red de redes amazónicas es un espacio lleno de magia.
So I want to thank you, Carolina, because the network of networks of the Amazon is really a space of magic.
Tú no trabajas en el Amazonas por dinero,
You don't work in the Amazon for money.
tú no trabajas en el Amazonas porque no tengas algo más que hacer.
You don't work in the Amazon because you don't have better things to do.
Trabajas en el Amazonas porque tu corazón está en el Amazonas.
You work in the Amazon because your heart is in the Amazon.
Y cuando muchos que tenemos el corazón en el Amazonas nos reunimos, es muy poderoso.
And when many of us that have our heart in the Amazon meet, it's very powerful.
Entonces, poner a la Amazonía en el centro significa reconocer, primero, que no hablamos de una Amazonía, hablamos de muchas Amazonías.
So to place the Amazon in the heart, it means to know that we're not talking about one Amazon, we're talking about many Amazons.
Diversas, vivas, con pueblos en aislamiento, con pueblos contactados, con una biodiversidad mágica, pero hoy bajo grandes amenazas.
Diverse, biodiverse, but also uncontacted and contacted tribes that have today a complexity of problems.
Significa entender que la Amazonía no es el problema, es justamente la solución a una crisis que parece no tener salida, pero que sí la tiene.
And speaking about the Amazon, we're talking about, it's not talking about the problems, it's talking about the solution that seems that it doesn't have a way out, but it does.
Los ríos, las lenguas, quienes habitan la Amazonía, la autonomía de los pueblos son la esperanza viva de la resistencia por la naturaleza.
The rivers, the biomas, the cultures are the living hope of nature.
Entonces, ¿qué significa justicia climática? Justamente mantener la llama viva. Trabajar por la justicia climática en la Amazonía es un acto de justicia y aprendizaje cotidiano.
So what does climate justice mean in the Amazon is working for these climate issues, is maintaining the hope alive day to day life.
Es dejarnos guiar por quienes habitan los bosques y quienes habitan los lugares mejor conservados que hoy tiene el planeta.
And it is to let us be guided by those that protect those territories that were some of the most alive and pure places in the entire planet.
La justicia climática y la justicia ambiental en la Amazonía es sobreponer la vida en el centro. Es una decisión ética sobre la cual todos tenemos que actuar de manera inmediata.
And putting the life in the heart of the Amazon, it requires immediate and complete attention for everybody.
Y todo bajo un enfoque de derechos y de diversidad. Reconocernos en la diferencia, pero reconocernos en la solidaridad es lo que va a permitir que el planeta siga vivo.
And to recognize ourselves in the diversity and come together in solidarity is what is going to permit life to continue in the Amazon and in the world.
And I'm sorry, I speak a lot and I love to speak, so I love it just like that. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Juana. No estaba fácil la pregunta,
Thank you so much, Juana. The question wasn't that easy.
pero me gusta este momentum que has tenido, este panel que nos ha hecho como dejar salir las emociones. Me gusta que menciones lo de las decisiones que tenemos, que no solamente son técnicas de política, sino éticas. Es un compromiso a la vida, como decía Martín, es una actitud frente a la vida. Entonces, gracias. Yo también estoy muy conmovida y vamos a dar.
And you have mentioned not only technical solutions, but also ethical solutions and an ethical stance that we all need to take. It's an attitude, like Martin shared. And so thank you so much.
Bueno, y para cerrar este panel vamos a irnos a la última pregunta también, como es que busquemos como en nuestro corazón, nuestra alma, esa respuesta que podemos dar para que de verdad los gobiernos tengan a la Amazonía en el centro de sus políticas públicas y que puedan lograr informar esas políticas públicas o estas metas consignadas en sus contribuciones al cambio climático, también estén informadas desde lo que está pasando en el territorio. Entonces, yo quiero preguntarles a ustedes que digan en, no sé, 3 minutos, ¿cómo te gustaría que la gente, que el mundo pusiera la Amazonía en otro lugar al que está ahorita?
And so now from the new question is, how would you like that people place the Amazon in the discourse?
Sí, en el centro de la... Bueno, no en un lugar, pero digamos que sea prioritario para los gobiernos, para el mundo, para la sociedad. Poder pensar la Amazonía como lo que decía Silvana al comienzo, como un sistema integral. No es una peruana, no es una colombiana, es un sistema que soporta la vida del planeta.
So how would you like to help the world understand that the Amazon is an interconnected system?
Peregrino.
Peregrino?
Para el pueblo indígena es importante la seguridad de vida y el derecho de existir por generaciones.
So for us as indigenous people, it's the importance of this right to live for generations and generations.
Y en esta voz queremos nosotros que realmente seamos escuchados, aprobados y solucionados.
And for this, we need to be listened to, and our rights to be approved, and our problems to be solved.
Porque no podemos seguir siendo invisibilizados por el gobierno a través de sus leyes que van creando año tras año.
Because we are being invisibilized, and we don't want to be invisibilized anymore by the government that uses their law to suppress and invisibilize us.
Los pueblos indígenas tenemos que ser potencia también, tenemos que ser informantes para el mundo y que sus voces sean escuchadas. Muchas gracias.
We, as indigenous people, we have we want to be able to use our voice and communicate the solutions that we already have. Thank you so much.
A ver, ¿cómo podríamos hacer que prioricen? De muy chica yo siempre he escuchado que la Amazonía era el pulmón del mundo.
So, since a very young age, I always heard that the Amazon was the lungs of the planet.
Ahora estamos pensando en cómo volverla el corazón.
But now we want thinking how we're going to make it the heart.
Pero creo que lo que tenemos que entender es que la Amazonía es todo. no solamente una parte del cuerpo, sino todo. Si uno no funciona, no funciona absolutamente nada.
And I think we have to think beyond that, or it's not the heart or the lungs, it is a totality, it is part of a whole, and we have to conceive it as such.
Y creo que cuando nuestros gobernantes, sea en Perú, en Colombia, en Brasil, en Bolivia, entiendan que si no trabajamos en conjunto vamos a perder más de lo que estamos ganando, van a entender que las individualidades nos afectan a todos y lo que necesitamos es una visión colectiva de la Amazonía para bien no solamente de ser el pulmón del mundo, sino ser una estructura que funcione para todos por igual.
So I think when the governments of our countries realize that we need to work together as inter-Amazonian countries and that we have to go beyond the borders to actually come to solutions together, and that will bring about the solutions that we're looking for.
Y por último, hay algo que yo siempre le digo a mis hijas, por ejemplo, ¿no? Yo me rehúso a perder y me niego a perder lo que es mío. Y la Amazonía, nuestra identidad, es nuestro. Entonces, ¿por qué tenemos que seguir dejándolo desaparecer? Y día a día vamos viendo cómo la ilegalidad, el crimen se va comiendo lo nuestro y simple y sencillamente no tenemos la capacidad como peruanos, colombianos, brasileños de darnos cuenta que lo que pierde un peruano lo está perdiendo un colombiano y lo está perdiendo un boliviano. Entonces creo que cuando comencemos a darnos cuenta de que la pérdida es para todos, vamos a dejar de pensar en la ganancia individual.
And I always tell my daughter, I'm a person that doesn't like to lose and that will fight for what is mine. And if we don't realize that this is something that we all have to work together to protect, and that if one loses, we all lose. So it's up to all to come together and all of the Amazonian countries to fight for what is ours.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Bueno, yo creo que hay que amazonizarlo todo.
I think we have to Amazonize everything.
Todo.
Everything.
Lo primero es reconocer que los marcos legales todavía tienen grandes brechas frente a la realidad amazónica.
And first is to realize that the legal frameworks have big holes in the Amazonian context.
Y es clave cerrarlas bajo un enfoque de derechos y de progresividad.
And we need to close those gaps in a framework of rights and progressiveness.
Necesitamos políticas nacionales y regionales que entiendan que la Amazonía no es un vacío verde.
We need regional policies that understand that the Amazon is not a green vacuum.
Es un lugar lleno de vida, de lenguas, de culturas y de comunidades que conservan usando.
And it's not a vacuum, it's full of biodiversity, of languages, of cultures that conserve it, using it.
Y si queremos, Carolina, políticas serias de cara a la COP30 que defiendan la Amazonía, tienen que poner en el centro a la Amazonía como territorio de vida. Tenemos que pensar en NDCs amazónicas. NDCs.
So now in the face of in COP30, we have to place the Amazon in the center and come up with solutions that put NDCs in the Amazon in the center.
Soñemos con ambiciones regionales.
Let us dream in regional solutions.
Y pasar de discursos abstractos y poéticos a acciones concretas.
And go from abstract discourses into very concrete actions.
No hay vida sin Amazonía y no hay Amazonía sin pueblos indígenas.
There's no life without Amazonia, and there's no Amazonia without indigenous peoples.
Y por eso es un tema que nos incumbe a todos.
And that is why it's an issue that belongs to all of us.
Sigamos amazonizando todas las discusiones.
Let's continue to Amazonize all of the discussions.
Thank you.
Me gusta. Amazonicemos todo.
Yes, let's Amazonize everything.
Peregrino de estar diciendo. ¿De qué hablan esto? Yo.
Peregrinos like, whoa.
Pero estaba pensando ahorita, bueno, cómo concluir el panel, y me gustó mucho que este tema de los recursos, muy ahorita también en el frente de las discusiones climáticas, de los compromisos financieros de los gobiernos desarrollados a los no desarrollados, aquí no surgió. Aquí lo que tenemos es una agenda de derechos humanos, una agenda política, una agenda técnica que puede ser recogida por cualquier actor amazónico para poder implementar políticas e iniciativas con enfoque de derechos y justicia climática.
So we have here a focus that can bring together human rights, environmental justice,